My name is Janine Herzig and I'm the convener of AusIMM's METPLANT Conference, which is coming up in less than a month's time in Perth on the 9th and 10th of September. And today I'm speaking with one of our keynote speakers, Greg Lane, who's the Chief Technical Officer at Ausenco. And Greg is no stranger to AusIMM events and indeed to METPLANT, and we always appreciate having Greg's insight at our conferences. So Greg and I have known each other for a long time, but for those out there watching this webinar, Greg, would you like to tell us a little bit about your background?
Sure, thanks Janine. I've been in engineering for about 25 years, and prior to that was in operations for 8 to 10 years. Principally my expertise these days is in cost-effective design and engineering of processing plants for minerals, and pretty well orientated with new technology and energy efficiency, water efficiency, and how we can be a bit smarter about how we recover our minerals and produce value out of them.
Excellent. So, Greg, the title of your keynote, or the theme of your keynote, is around applying lessons from smaller projects to big projects. Is this an easy thing to do?
Well, as projects get bigger, you have more people, and project difficulties either proportional to or to the exponential of the number of people. So, you know, one of our challenges in the business is to take some of the good stuff that we've learnt in producing cost-effective and smart projects at quite small scales, let's say 1 million tonne per annum, and trying to replicate those at 30 to 40 times that capacity. And you know, the number of people involved in a large project can exceed 10,000. So you've got 10,000 interfaces to deal with, and the commercial issues that go with that. But most importantly, it's the behaviours and cultures that need to be herded in the one direction, and it's just like herding cats. So a small project, you might have an engineering team of 20 to 30 people, and aligning those people with a common cause is relatively easy. On a large team, or a large project I should say, that team grows to several hundred, and aligning them with their construction colleagues and with vendors and doing everything in a timely manner is a challenge. So easy to be smart on small projects, can be a bit harder on large projects, but that's what we're trying to do.
So that really brings me to another important question, and that's around something you've highlighted, the importance of people and culture. So there are a lot of other engineering firms in the marketplace. What is it that you believe Ausenco does differently, or that makes Ausenco special in this regard?
We've always had a focus on the process side. You know, we've I think always been known as good engineers and strong in the process design part of engineering. We've developed that over the last 15, 20 years into a strong technical team that differentiates our designs based on how we manage new technology and smart ideas. We're not afraid of smart ideas. We try to be good at how we manage any risks and put together the mitigations associated with those activities. The real challenge is how do we take those smart ideas and convert them into an engineered solution. And we've got a strong team of disciplined engineers that help us formulate compact designs that are easy to operate, easy to manage, and they also result in much lower concrete quantities, steel quantities, cable quantities than some of our competitors. So, you know, we're not only about the smart technology part of it, but it's all about how do you take that and materialise it in a in a cost-effective manner that can be 20 to 30% less costly than the offerings of some of our competitors.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point around it's not enough just to be the smartest in these things. You also need to be looking at efficiencies, whether it's energy efficiency or efficiencies in utilisation of other resources. In terms of Ausenco's approach to following up after commissionings, after designs with clients, is there anything special that you feel you do in that regard?
The most important thing to maintain a business is to make sure you maintain a good relationship. And building projects is like any relationship. You have a phase which is enthusiastic, and then a phase where reality can dawn, and there are always issues on any project. But the real aim is to finish a project well, where you've got a good relationship with that client, and that relationship leads to further work. That's the real prize for us. And in so doing, you gather the technical data that's useful, whether it be process data or data about how the plant is actually performed around some new layout idea or new concept that we might use to materialise our process solutions. Gathering that feedback from clients is absolutely critical so that we continue to improve. And we stay ahead of our competitors by continually changing, and that's a really important part of the business. Get feedback from our clients, understand what went well, what didn't go well, and then feed that into the next project.
So in terms of changing client expectations, are you seeing more emphasis now being placed on, social license to operate, social performance, that kind of aspect, which seems to be growing in importance in the industry?
I suppose over the last 25 years, and particularly from going from small projects to large projects, one of the big changes is the impact that those projects have on the communities and the greater government involvement. It's always been an important part of project development to make sure that the communities and government agencies come along on the journey. But particularly when we're doing large projects these days, it's the technical issues fade into relative insignificance compared with the social and community factors. Of course, the two join together, as you say. If we can be smarter about how we use energy, if we can be smarter about how we source and use water, then those things add to the value that the project's providing to both local and broader communities around any particular project. So we do a lot of work, a lot of thinking around how we reduce energy consumption, how we might reduce water consumption. And certainly if you're up in the Andes at 4,000 metres, water is costing you over $3 a cubic metre. And that refocuses the project economics and aligns with the community expectations that you won't use local water. You'll use water, say, from the sea that's been desalinated or not, and try and the economics focus you on being efficient.
So, Greg, if there's one message that you would like delegates to take away from your keynote, what would that be?
I'd like people to think about how projects are put together so that you arrive at the best and most efficient solution. But in the broader context, think about how projects are best structured so that we break down the interfaces between people and maintain a level of simplicity and clarity and accountability as we go from smaller projects to larger projects. The issues associated with the number of interfaces and the personalities on a project can be addressed by using simple, clear and accountable systems.
And is there a particular message that you may have for young people out there who are either considering going into a university course or entering into the mineral sector about how you see the future looking and what contributions they may be able to make?
Yeah, that's I mean, the minerals area is one that's sometimes popular because of the amount of revenue that it generates and the rewards that it provides people in terms of salary and benefits, but it's not a trendy area. Yeah, so I mean, I'm in the game because I like the challenges. I like to build things, and mineral processing is a really interesting science because it takes our natural resources and it produces something of value. But different people are going to see different things, and those who want to travel the world and enjoy the challenges of remote environment and combine that with constructing something that's useful, we'll see the value in working in the minerals business. It's not always evident when you're young, but there's always the opportunity to dip your toe in and change as time passes.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time, Greg. And your keynote will be on the first morning of the METPLANT Conference, which will be just before lunch on Monday, the 9th of September. Really appreciate your time and your ongoing support of the METPLANT Conference series and of the AusIMM. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Janine. It's always a pleasure.